So let me ask you the first question then. Do you find yourself largely physically attracted to the women that you are dating? You said you are not largely attracted to these women. That is a core part of human connection. I don't mean it is the end all be all. I don't mean that you need to have a perfect quote unquote supermodel type wife to be happy. But I do think fundamentally as humans, and especially I find in men, we need to feel largely attracted to the individual we are with. At least a yes or a no. We have to look at that person and say, I am excited about them. I find myself desiring them. I want them. I want to be intimate. I want to embrace, and to feel those emotions, because we know intimacy is like half of the entire relationship, right? Like you got to be friends and have emotional rapport and get to know each other, have loyalty, support, provision, all those things. But the reason why you're with that person is because you want to share intimacy. You don't do that with friends. You don't do that with close family members, hopefully. Okay. So if the foundation is, I do not largely find myself physically attracted to this person, I think it's quite hard to find the motivation and excitement to explore further, because I tend to find that, at least for men, it's hard to change that if fundamentally the answer is no to start. If the answer is maybe or a little bit, great. Then I think that combination of getting to know the person and really exploring that and getting all their other values can make you more and more attracted. And that's what will kind of spark the interest and deeper connection. So I'd say one, this is going to sound terrible, but if you don't find yourself at all attracted to the people you're starting to date, then probably don't spend time on it and try to find a way to find somebody you're at least physically attracted to. And this isn't just like some shallow human experience. This is the animal kingdom, right? We choose partners with large plumes of feathers, or at least animals do, and look a certain way. We are hardwired to it. Also, like when we want to procreate and reproduce, we have all these genetic markers of like, oh, I want a healthy person that looks like this, or to give good genes to pass on, strong genes, right? So when a lot of men ask me that to start, I don't find myself excited or motivated to meet a woman and they want to find out how. I think the answer is first, why? And if I'm not physically attracted to them, that's probably a good starting point. From there, I would say it's a long-winded answer, but we have to again go back to what would excite us to deeply know about somebody and for them to deeply know about us eventually. What type of values, shared experience, humor, subject matter, intellectual debate, those things that would make us get so enraptured in wanting to explore that with someone. So a lot of times when the answer isn't, no, I'm physically attracted to these women, but still I don't find myself really wanting to explore much with them, even though I want a relationship, somebody's holding back. Somebody's playing it safe, putting on a mask, performing, keeping it to small talk, and they're never allowing the other person to see them, or they're never really digging in to see the interesting facets of other people that would excite them like crazy. And that's usually where I'm like, all right, let's start to bring in real subject matter that you love. Ask hard questions that reveal values that would fascinate you about a new person. Get into deep discussions that you could lose yourself in 2 hours for them. And then when you see that deep human connection comes from that vulnerability over time, right? Not just sad vulnerability, but positive, and where two people are really learning about each other and then getting the signals of like, wow, we like what we're seeing and we're accepting one another, and you keep going and repeating that cycle, then you find yourself feeling deeply connected to someone and really feeling like they accept you and you accept them, and that's what you want to grow. So that's kind of a high-level answer. It's not an easy, immediate fix, but either you're not physically attracted enough to the person as a foundation. I think that is important for a lot of men. Again, it doesn't mean perfect. It just means like somewhat, because they will change. As your partner ages and such, they're going to look different. But I think if at least you started from a point where you did find them beautiful in some ways, then as they age, you still find that beauty within them. And then second, if that's not the case, then we're not actually accessing the depth of human connection and our vulnerability in our conversations, in our subject matter, in exploring values, in exploring the curiosity of one another that would make us go like, shit, I'm so fascinated with this person. I want to tell them everything about me. I want to learn all about them. And you're seeing their sense of humor, their leadership, their ambition, their intellect, their warmth, their kindness, the things that you know deep down as a person that you fall in love with. Like the second I started to meet my wife and I started to explore like how good of a heart she had, how caring overall she was, her intellect, her openness to new subjects, and being non-judgmental as a person. When I started getting into those things, that excited me more than like, oh, here's a cute girl who's into music and whatever. I was like, no, shit, she's not just a cute musician, which there's a million of. She's got all these other things that make me realize I want this more than anything else.